Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Or even a year ago, that in the year of our Lord 2022 would have spent this week finding out new One Direction information and still watching Jensen Ackles on my television, I would have fucking laughed in your face.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
How am I almost 30 and still tied with like fucking shackles to the interests that I had when I was still on Tumblr? Like, when will it stop, you know?
Right. No, that's...
I say on a Twilight
it's
podcast.
kind of fucked up. Right. Yeah, we're stuck here forever.
I guess.
Yeah, but it's been a very wild week of the Tumblr demons coming back.
No. You know?
Right. Enough, actually.
Like, I use retinol. I can't do this anymore. I feel like at some point when I was a minor, I made like a fucking blood pact and was like, well, I guess when there's One Direction news, my spidey senses tingle and I need to stay updated. From a Logan Paul podcast. Like, are you kidding me?
I know. That's like that's salt in the wound right there. It's like, God, just the worst men you've ever seen.
Why are the worst men
talking shit
together? I'm exhausted. And it was going into Twilight. I'm tired.
And I'm sleepy.
Great. Has anyone drawn us yet as Panic and Pain? I've been asking for so long.
I don't think so. It's kind of fucked. I know. It's kind of fucked up. I know they're very talented artists.
We know a lot.
It doesn't even need to be good. It can just be like a shitty doodle on like a post-it or something. Napkin. I just want. Yeah, on a cocktail napkin. That's all I want. You know.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you? How you doing?
This question gets more and more sinister each week, I fear. Remember when this started as like, hey, it's kind of a bad time right now. What if we like say things that make us happy? And then it became much more and more relevant.
Yeah.
Never.
I do remember that. We did it because of the books we were reading. Not even because of the world, I think.
Right. Yeah. I hate it here. I'm good. I'm vibing. I'm making my way downtown, walking fast. Immediately get sued for copyright. Get a cease and desist. I want to talk about Fire Island. It's the best movie ever made.
Please do.
I haven't talked about a movie in a long time on this podcast. It's been a while.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mostly because I haven't really been watching a lot of movies this year. I'm tired. And when I have so much reality TV to watch,
it's true.
I just do that. I have so many things to watch, so sometimes it gets put on the back burner. Fire Island just dropped with Joel Kim Booster and Bowen Yang, the two loves of my life.
Truly.
With a bunch of other loves of my life in there. And it's so fucking good.
Is it a requirement in this movie to wear tank tops? Because who are all these hot people?
Right. Yeah, well, because that's the thing. It's like, based on their experiences like at Fire Island 8 years ago, which is like gay paradise, essentially, but only for like, hunky, rich, white, gay guys for the most part. And like based on that sort of thing. And also, I was reading some stuff about how this movie was created and stuff, because they've been working on this for fucking ever. And at the time when they were at Fire Island, like Joel Kim Booster was like reading Pride and Prejudice. I was being like, hey, isn't it kind of funny how Jane Austen, the way that she writes people and the way that she writes about how people talk to each other, it's very similar to the way that gay people talk to each other in terms of like class things, in terms of aesthetics, in terms of any of those things. And I was like, fuck yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so that's like definitely a core thing of this movie, of like this blend of...
Are you kidding me?
Those different things. It's incredible. And like making your way through this like very, you know, horny summer with a bunch of people that are judging you based on how you look or how you vibe and how cool you are. But it's like incredibly romantic, but also very horny and gay and very, very funny. And I am obsessed with it. Incredible gay summer rom-com. Like this is the vibe.
One, I've never heard about Fire Island.
Mm-hmm.
The place.
Yes,
because
sure.
Why would I know about Long Island in general?
Right. That's honestly good for you. Like,
I am obsessed with adaptations, even though this seems like kind of a loose adaptation. I hadn't even heard of this. It's been a minute since there's been like a good summer movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the way that you're describing this and the poster alone kind of reminds me of Palm Springs, which I think was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think that was like
that's so wild.
Beginning. And I love I love those kinds of movies. Like that one was a little bit more wild, right? Because time travel.
Sure, right, yeah.
But I similar to like what people consider to be like a beach read, right? I love a good just summer movie. So this is, I will be watching this tonight and will be reporting back.
Yeah,
because
I'm so excited. You're gonna love it, I hope.
All of
it's gonna
my
be great.
interests. I love it.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm great, actually. I'm great. The world's great. I'm great. It's all great. The happy thing I'm bringing to this space is a special little treat that I was not expecting. And I'm so goddamn happy to be bringing to this space, which is the deluxe album of Inside from motherfucker Bo Burnham.
Hell yeah.
This little shit this past week was like, hey, so happy 1 year anniversary to the most vulnerable piece of media I've ever made. Here's this 1 hour outtakes special I made. Enjoy it or don't, whatever.
Yeah.
And so obviously I had to stop everything that I was doing. I was like, sorry, Real Housewives, I have to watch this. And just cried throughout the whole thing. Because I don't know that I can get through Bo Burnham stuff anymore without crying.
Yeah.
But this little shit is so talented and it pisses me off. But also I'm very proud of him. And I think that I personally was not expecting anything else from Inside. And it makes me very emotional to know that his relationship with his creativity is getting to a place where he is able to continue working on this project. Yeah. And also, there's just some goddamn bangers that he just didn't put into the original film.
Yeah, there was some good things that didn't make the cut in there.
Yeah. Which
I was surprised by.
I have very swiftly added them to my current playlist.
Yes.
And they will be now brainworms for the next year.
The cycle continues, baby. You thought you were done?
The cycle continues, yep. One of my favorite things about the way that his mind works, because he has also been on the internet for as long as we have.
Yes.
Is because of the fact that like he put it up on there and like there were no ads. Like he wasn't even trying to like make money on there, which I love.
Sure.
But he thought of like everything, which like so much to the like upper corner description ads, to the bottom description ads, to the like
I literally, the amount of times I kept accidentally trying to click it to get rid of it because I thought it was a real ad was very embarrassing.
I did the same thing too, where it was like ad coming up in 5 seconds and I tried to click it to get out of it. And It's like, he knows so much because he's been on YouTube since forever. I want to know what his algorithm suggests to him. But it was incredibly well thought out and I'm just very proud of him.
Yeah. We love to see it.
And I know that a lot of it is like because he is the kind of person who won't stop working on something. But goddamn, it was very good. So I love it.
Ugh, the man. He's done it again.
I will be listening to 5 years for the rest of my life, probably. Because I don't listen to Drake, but I will listen to Bo Burnham make Drake music for the rest of the time. We have a couple of current event stuff here.
Yeah, we do.
I want to save the best one for last. Because I might scream. The updates, I guess, are that...
Yeah, the little releases.
So, we've talked about First Blood. It's coming out on Netflix.
Or First Kill, right?
First Kill? Fuck. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. the vampire hunter.
Netflix. Yes. First Kill. Yeah, that one. It's coming out on Netflix on the 10th. So that's soon.
It's coming up.
I think that I would like to get feedback from you all on when we should watch that. Because we're about halfway through this book right now.
Right.
So let us know. Because I will watch it regardless. It's more so of like when you want to like us all to talk about it. And then
absolutely.
Crimes of the Future is going on demand late this month. Cody said around the 21st, which is sooner than I thought personally.
Yeah.
So congrats to them.
Congrats to us.
Congrats to us. So we might do, I mean, honestly, depending on when we finish this book, we might just do a little summer break movie TV moment.
Yeah, that
might be fun.
Yeah.
So let us know how you feel about that. I need to talk about this current events piece, though. Could you do us the honor?
Folks, we have been talking about this for years.
For years now.
Basically. Of
Did we influence
what it would
him?
look like. Right. Yeah, we're influencers. Does David Cronenberg listen to our podcast?
To the podcast.
We have been talking for a very long time. And imagining, bringing into the universe, what if, what would it look like if K-Stu and Robert Pattinson were in a movie together now? Post
as adults.
Twilight. As adults. And has different things under their belts.
As true sickos.
Right. And we always thought it would make sense and it would be cool. But, will that happen? Who knows?
Who's can say?
But my man, David Cronenberg, was like, you know what? I've always kind of wanted to do that. And I think they would work really well together. And I kind of want to make a movie with them in there.
It would be so Gucci, Cody.
So Gucci. So many holes. So many...
He would really be like, I need you all to go true sicko mode. And they would be like, yes, sir.
Yeah, I got it. Because, who else can commit to the bit, the sicko bit, more than K-Stu and Robert Pattinson? I think they've got it in their blood. They can just turn on the sicko dial, and they're in.
I mean, the only other person that I can think of is Toni Collette. And...
Right, yes. Oh my god, what if she was there too?
And that would just... I would need to book several therapy sessions. So...
Right.
And I think that's kind of what David's looking for, honestly.
Right. Absolutely. And all this is hypothetical still.
Sure.
But there are people out there that are not just us. that are not just
us. And then I think that's
which means it has more sway in the actual industry. So
here's what I'm saying. I think that one, they are professionals, right?
Yes.
We obviously know that they have on-screen chemistry.
Yes.
They are talented performers. That is not debatable.
Right.
And they are true, especially they are aligned to Cronenberg's vision, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And on top of that, I think that a lot of the public would be super interested to see that movie, whatever it is.
Right, because it's been so long, and they want to see what what else they can do, especially together.
That is not a Melissa
places.
Rosenberg screenplay. Stephanie Meyer sticky fingers all over it.
Right.
Right. That is not Mormon influenced. And I think that, honestly, it would be great.
Yeah.
And we've been saying that for years. But I think that now that it's like, you know, people that are not us, Brood, that are saying it, that'll, you know, people are taking it seriously.
Right.
We are manifestors, if nothing else. Right? So.
Yeah. We like to
watch
see it.
this space.
Right.
I would die. I'm just saying I would lose it.
I would pass away.
I would see it and then I would pass away. It would make so much money, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just think about it. David, I know you're listening. Just think about it. Until then, though, we have to talk about Ferrero and her little nastiness.
We do. And her nasty business.
Yeah. When we last left off with her little schemes,
right.
Rose had gone on a quest vis-a-vis Yeva.
Right.
And was like... Hey,
carrying all the bricks.
Yeah. I remember she met people that... She met Oksana and Mark, who were just like her and Lissa, and she was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, interesting.
Interesting that I could see a future. Weird. I'll think about that later. And Mark was like, hey, are you, like, depressed magically? And she's like, yeah. Why? And he's like, well, that's weird. Why don't you just, like, do yoga and, like, heal it? Why don't you just have, like, Lissa heal it?
Right.
She's like, what the fuck?
Have you tried drinking water and going
Have you
outside?
heard of kombucha?
Have you heard of vitamins?
She's like, what the fuck? What? What are you talking about? So that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Where are we picking up at on chapter
11? Literally, Rose is like, her jaw is on the floor. She's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean heal it? And Mark's like, yeah, of course. Like, she can heal. She can heal anything, right? Like, it's just like healing
She's got
a cold or anything. She's got the whole thing. That's the vibe. Right. And she's like, but that doesn't make any fucking sense, because the reason I have the sickness is because it comes from her. So that wouldn't make any sense, because she can't heal it in her own self. So how would she be able to heal it from me? Because it's the same sickness. What's going on there? And he's like, well, yeah, but it's different when it's in you, because it just is like the same as healing a wound or anything else, because it's not like fully attached to her anymore, because it has moved on to you. So she can still heal you.
Correct.
And Rose is like, what? That's it? That seems way too easy.
It does.
That seems very convenient. Like that, I feel like we would have figured that out before. That doesn't really make any fucking sense.
For real, what? Like...
Yeah. And like Ferrero backs it up a little bit by saying like it's not as easy as that. It's like more of a balancing act kind of thing, because Rose makes a point too that like if that were true, Mrs. Carp wouldn't have, you know, gone mad, quote unquote, and succumbed to the sickness or whatever. Every time I say sickness, I feel like I'm saying down with the sickness, which I think is
Literally.
really funny. You know, energy to put on this book. But like, she's like, well, that's obviously that wouldn't have worked because it didn't work for her, right? And, you know, he's like, well, yes, it is a balance and like a trust thing. You know, it took Oksana this whole like long time to figure out what the actual secret sauce was to like not have both of us go mad and figure it out. And it's like a very long, intensive process, which, okay.
I would imagine that it would take a while and try to get, like, a good balance to figure that out.
Right. And, two, he notes that, like, over time, because they continually, like, heal each other, or, like, she heals him, and that's kind of stuff, like, her spirit is diluted a little bit just because of the routine and how frequently they're doing it to make sure they're, like, both on an evil, or both on a level sort of field in that way. So, like, she can do compulsion, she can heal for other things, but, like, it's much more diluted than its full powers are, which is a big thing. And Rose is like, I don't want to do that to my girl, though, because that's kind of important to her. Ooh, that's kind of a thing that she worked really hard on to, like, keep her cool and stuff, to be able to have her full power. So, like, I don't know.
This is wild.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm interested in it.
Right.
I think that, and I guess, like, there is not another living couple or a living pair, I guess, that Rose would have been able to get this information from.
Right.
Maybe, we don't have knowledge if Vlad and Anna had something like this. It seems like no, given the whole situation.
Right, how that sort of ended. Yeah.
And Miss Karp did not know.
Yes.
And I think that, like, we do not, my understanding is that she did not bond with someone. So.
Right, yes. So that wouldn't really.
It wouldn't have
fly.
Impacted. So, like, I am willing to go with this knowledge that, like, this is the first time that she would have run into this. But it's just, like, at no point Lissa would have been like, you know what, I'm just gonna fuck around and find out. Like, what?
Yeah, whatever.
This is wild. I'm interested, though. I will go with it. Sure.
Right. Like, I'm here. I'm figuring it. Whatever. We're obviously doing a little bit of retconning here, but that's okay. You're a few bucks in. You gotta, like, give some spice and stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
He does give this little, like, charm thing, or, like, talks about this little charm. That's kind of like the, helps cool you down a little bit, like, in between. So apparently, like, Oksana heals him every once in a while, but, like, because it drains and takes so much power, like, in between, he, like, wears this little jewel thing that's sort of as charged with spirit and, like, calms him down, I guess.
Yeah, he did Reiki on it.
Right,
Oksana did Reiki on it.
Yeah, Roxanne did some wild spirit juju on it. Yes. We'll have to see. And then Patrick comes in. And he, bless his heart, I love him so much.
I love little
And
Paul.
he's literally like, hey, Grandma wants to leave now. And she's kind of like wondering why you're being such a bitch and staying this long while she has obviously a very bad back. And, and you guys are making her wait and just be out here. It's kind of fucked up. And Rose is like, her back is fine. First of all, we walked like 10 million years to get here. And I was carrying pounds and pounds of bricks. And I can't have a conversation. She's like, I'm not going to tell that to Paul. Paul's a baby. I'm just going to go. But it's just so funny that Yeva's just like, hey, chop, chop. Okay. What the hell's going on?
I love that Paul continues to be the mouthpiece for Yeva.
It's so good.
And that Rose is like, okay, well, I guess I got to go. This hour conversation with you has been... the most important thing that's ever happened to me.
Literally. Illuminating.
So, I think I will need to kind of process this. But thanks, Mark.
Yeah. Before she goes, though, they have one last little revelation, I guess, of the relationship between Matt and Oksana. Of how, you know, he was in the middle ground of not being a guardian, but still, like, bonded with Oksana and having this love, whatever, and just living a life that's not really within the bounds of normal, you know, Hampir situation life. And also reveals that, like, I mean, not really reveals, it's kind of made clear earlier, but, like, they have this very large age difference, too, and they're bonded, and it's, like, very scandalous in comparison to other relationships. And obviously makes Rose think about her and Dimitri and that whole situation and being like, damn, there's
exposing all of her shit.
Yeah, like, that could have been us, mate. Like, there could have been all these things, whatever. It just makes her big sad.
I think that is something that is obviously like intentional by Ferrero, but I think that I enjoy that Rose is kind of being exposed to right now.
Yeah.
That it's not just something that she has to confront about herself and Lissa, which like
right.
But also herself and Dimitri, and is like, is there a way that I can have both? And it's she's having to kind of confront that.
Right.
When she got back to Dimitri's childhood home and saw this letter from Sydney, I was kind of shocked, personally.
Yeah.
I guess not because of Sydney, it makes sense for her, but also just like,
right.
It was so abrupt.
Yeah, it's like we just started getting cool with Sydney. They were starting to like, tear her walls down with each other. It was great. It was going okay. She didn't hate her that much anymore, and it was like, bye. Which, okay, I guess. I'm sure we'll see her again, but just felt very kind of, like you said, abrupt. And she left this very long note.
It was very long, yes.
About, had to like hitch a ride back. I'm going to St. Petersburg. Now that you're here, the alchemists, or the people that sent me here, don't need me to be here anymore because I guess that part of the bargain is done. And I don't really know much about Abe or what he wants. I wish I could tell you. I have no fucking clue. He's just bad news. That's all I know. So, like, stay fucking safe and be careful because he can really get into anywhere. And she's also like, I named the car the Red Hurricane. And I'd like you, but also I think you're evil. So just take that in mind. Bye.
I love the relationship between Sydney and this car.
Yeah,
and I
so
also
good.
love that she's like, I never thought I would say this to a Hampier, but be careful. But also, like, just because I like you, I still don't trust you. Okay, bye.
Right, exactly.
It's cute.
It's very cute. Yeah, she's just like, man, I miss my girl. I miss Dimitri. And is just thinking about how she feels very directionless now. Like, she came in with a very clear purpose. And that purpose feels like not like it's gonna happen. Or it just feels like, is that even the thing that she should be doing?
Yes.
What is her next move at all?
If this was
is she
Glee,
like foolishly running into
right now?
Literally, this would be just like full, solo in the bathroom crying with a little tiny microphone, wondering why, screaming at the, just everything at the mirror. Yes. And just goes, fuck it. My mind is scattered right now. I need to calm down. I'm just gonna go back into Lissa's brain. And so we're back with our little Lissa segment of these novels.
It's just how Rose is disassociating now.
Right.
It's just like, my mind isn't safe, but Lissa's is. So that's where I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great.
Good.
And so, like, Lissa and Adrian are doing their spirit training stuff.
Cool.
It's just fine. Right? And she's like, I want to talk to Rose. I know you talked to Rose. I want to do that. And he's like, you can't do that. She checks in on you, like, you'll get there, but like, we're not there yet. And it's not, doesn't seem like the time, and might, like, whatever. But she's like, what if you visit her dream, though, right now? What if you did that? I can just see you do it, and then maybe I could figure out how to do that. How about that?
How about that?
And he's like, that's kind of like voyeuristic a little bit. Like, it seems not really consensual. Like, obviously him not popping in the Rose's dreams are just like fucking rude. But like having another party also step in feels like a little bit of a boundary. And she's like, I just want to learn, okay? This is not about Rose. I just want to learn how to do it. There's nothing else going on here. Don't worry.
Right. I think this is interesting, that this is still the area of Lyssa's powers that she cannot tap into.
Right.
And do. So watching this is a little bit interesting, but it also feels very meta.
Yes.
In the moment. And so I honestly wasn't sure if it was going to work. Because I feel like that would be an absolute mindfuck for all of them.
It's like looking into Lyssa's brain while Lyssa's looking into Adrian going into Rose's brain. Like, so many layers.
Like they would all get a massive migraine or something.
Absolutely.
But obviously, like, it doesn't work.
Right, because she's actually awake. Like, it doesn't really go. So Christian pops on in.
This is a weird moment.
This is so strange. I don't know what this is
building up to.
Yeah. He comes in with Jill, if we all remember Jill.
Which I don't. Who's Jill? My BFF Jill? Like, who's Jill?
Yeah. Like, I thought it was when Dimitri and Rose were like, they were protecting the elementary school, but there was maybe another place they went to like, oh, it was when they were like dropping off like the
books from the
books
church?
And stuff, like the community service things. I think that's
maybe
what that
that's
was.
Who it was. God, was that only
because she was like younger. She's like in 9th grade now or something, and she was like starstruck about how cool Rose was and how cool Dimitri was and how they're legends. I think that's what that was. But again, far away from where we are in the book. Many things have happened since then. Not very important. But so he's here with Jill, and he's like, hey, so Jill wants to like train and wants to figure out how to do magic for fighting like we do. And I'm going to train her. And they also make a note to being like, yeah, you can never really keep one for a while, Christian. It feels like you're really kind of a bad teacher. Like, because everyone after the, attack wanted to be trained by you and like figure out how to do it. But once they realized it was like hard work and they have to practice, they kind of just stopped going, which is funny. But Jill seems like down for the count. She's like, I got this. Don't worry. I'm not going to flake on you. I want to figure this out. I'm ready. I'm hungry. Let's go.
Yeah, I like the fact that Christian's doing this. I love it. I'm interested in Jill doing this. I don't find it that interesting. I would have just personally kind of filled this in my brain.
Yeah, right.
And I honestly didn't give a flying fuck when this scene continued for like 3 more pages with Avery. Because...
like, for why? Why is any of this...
Because I think the thing that we had initially thought, and I think it was because of Lyssa, was that like Avery was a snake, right. And she was brought in by the queen to spy on Lyssa. Mm-hmm. So when Avery's like, yes, let's go to the court and hang out with the queen, and Lyssa's like, obviously, fuck that.
Right.
But it would be an and Avery's very excited because it'd be an opportunity to hang out with Adrian.
Right, because she's still a smitten kid with Adrian.
It makes sense to me that Christian doesn't want to go. It makes sense to me that Christian would be like, we'll bring Jill, have her meet Mia. They're both water users.
Right, could be helpful.
Could be helpful. Could be important. I do not understand why Lyssa loses it, other than
she
the
like
fact
freaks
that,
out about this,
and not in a sense of like gets annoyed, but like goes way overboard. And I know that Adrian mentions a little bit later that he also notices Liz has been having more of her, like, mood swings later, like, recently. This scene goes on for so long, and I don't get it. I don't care. I don't care about Avery. I don't understand why.
I'm so over
this.
What
are we
plotline.
building up to here?
Yeah.
I don't care.
I hate it.
Especially when the point that Rose comes to with this is she's, like, getting jealous.
Right, for sure.
Because
it's like, maybe I should check in on her more often because I don't know what's going on.
And I think it's because it might have been Christian who said it, that Avery acts like Rose before they left.
Right.
And she's like, well, then obviously fuck Avery.
Yeah, right.
I don't like her anymore. But I don't like it. I don't trust it. I don't like it. Mm-mm. No, thank you.
No, ma'am.
No.
Chapter 12. Obviously, Rose comes out of that with a lot of questions. Is very confused.
Yes.
Which kind of sucks because she kind of went there to be like, finally, I get to be calm, have peace of mind. I have too many thoughts in the real world. Let me just go into the dream world. Yes. And she's even more fucked up. And she's like staying with the Belikovs for a few days, even though now that Sydney's gone, she's just kind of vibing, figuring out her next steps, her next move. And Victoria's like, oh my gosh, I wish you could go to school with us. That'd be like so sick. Which is literally called St. Basil's, which I think is hilarious.
I love it.
And they're like, yeah, it'd be like so sick, you'd be able to finish your stuff, they'd be able to translate, it'd be really cool, we could hang out together all the time, you could live in Russia, like we could just vibe, we love you, you're basically a sister, it'd be great. And Rose is like, yeah, I mean, I kind of said fuck school, and I didn't even think about that I would ever go back, and I don't think I want to, but it makes her think about, like, other ways to, like, plant her roots in a way or find any sort of purpose. Like, it opens her mind to being like, what is it that I actually want to fucking do? Because I kind of did the thing, or one of the things I was going to do here that I had to do after, And it's just like, what actually is the moment and the vibe of what I should be doing? Yes. And, like, not be in this weird limbo state of not fully being a guardian, not finishing school, not really anything. What is it?
She's having a full-on crisis right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. And Victoria's like, well, you can, like, stay here if you don't want to go to school. And Rosamie's like, well, I'm not going to be a quote-unquote blood whore. And
God.
She's like, that's not what I was saying. But
to say that to her fucking face.
I know, it's so fucking brutal. And it's like, okay, rude assumption here. Not at all what's going on here, or what I was assuming for you to do. But whatever.
God, and I know that what I hope was that, like, it just came out. She didn't necessarily mean to say that, but it's just like, fucking Rose, like, these people are treating you like your family.
Literally.
And you just said what Ferrero Rocher considers like a slur in this book.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like,
yes.
Hello?
Like,
and
come on.
She even goes on to say throughout this chapter, too, that, like, she hasn't really even seen... Because I think my interpretation of what are considered, quote, blood whores in these books is... like sex workers, right?
Yes, right.
And Rose goes on in this chapter and says, like, I haven't even necessarily seen sex workers in this town.
Right.
I think she even says, like, I've seen one that technically fits the, like, stereotype. But
right.
And so, like, everything that we have seen about Rose is that, like, her assumptions, everything that she had been told growing up is wrong. And so it's like, girly. Like,
okay.
I know that you are trying to grow. That takes time to change your language. But, like, these people are treating you like you were Dimitri's wife. stop it. Like,
yeah, hey.
Like, his mom is making you food all the time.
Right.
And is, like, getting angry if you don't eat because that's her love language. Stop.
Yeah. Come on. Be grateful for everything.
Yeah, like, his sister is, like, wanting you to go to school with her.
Yeah.
Like, they love you. Stop.
Come on. And, like, she has this really interesting moment where she's like, I have two kind of paths here at the moment. I could do what I came here to do and kill him, or, you know, and make him so his soul is free or whatever. Or I could stay here and choose to accept that, like, he is dead and it's not my problem or my duty to, like, finish it longer than that or more than that.
Yeah.
But then she's also like, if I do that, though, then what's stopping me from just going back to Montana and being
True.
with the people who miss me? Like, I went all this way to do this one thing, you know? And now I also have this other thing of, like, maybe staying in Russia. So it's like, she's just going all over, like, what the fuck? Which path, which choose your own adventure book am I going to do here?
True. And I don't blame her for...
Right.
Like, this is a shitty situation to kind of... Like, what do you do, right? Two roads diverged.
Literally.
But I also think that, like, when she read Sydney's letter, and also her personal experience, there are Strigoi in the cities. And so she really doesn't know where to go. She doesn't have signs. And so she's like, And she also mentions in this chapter, too, like, she could very much see herself fitting in here. Mm-hmm. And just staying and settling down. But that's not her life. That's just a life, which sucks.
Yes. Right. Oh, God. She has this very nice scene with Elena where she makes her bread and a fuck ton of butter.
Oh,
because he's American.
My
and she's like, this is
meal.
Dimitri's favorite. Yeah. And they have, like, a nice little conversation. And Elena drops some fucking wisdom here of being like, Rose goes, does it get any easier? And she's like, yes, but it'll never be the same. And you'll never be the same. Which is like, mic drop.
Yeah.
This grocery store.
Okay, so I love this. I love that Rose was like, I'll go do these errands for you. I love you. What? Bye.
Yeah, anyway.
And so she's just taking her little basket, going on errands in this small little town, and runs into Mark, of all people, and was very much under the impression, right, that, like, Mark didn't really, like, go out in public. Yeah. And so doesn't have any small talk, and is like, hey, Mark, have you ever run into ghosts? And Mark is like, hello?
We are in a grocery store.
We are in public. And so he, like, pulls her to the side and is like, shut up. Right. Basically any other time that Rose has talked about ghosts before. And
please
like,
stop.
He's like, the short answer is yes, but the long answer is don't do that anymore.
Right. Don't let that happen. It's not good for anyone.
And she's like, well, okay, but I used to be scared of them, but now I kind of fuck with the ghosts because they help with Strigoi. And he's like, God damn it, Rose. Why do you make my life exhausting?
Like, you are so, God, asking for trouble.
Yeah. And he gets, like, super stern. And he's like, you need to stop it. That's really dangerous. Like, people like you and me, we already kind of, like, fucking walk the edge of darkness, which, like, that's cool. That's a cool thing to say. I would put that out in my bio. But he's like, when you just openly call upon the dead to help you out, like, that's bringing you a lot closer to just losing your mind.
Right. So maybe don't do that.
So maybe don't do that, and don't fucking say this to me in a grocery store anymore. Gotta go.
Please. And then fucking Abe rears his fucking head.
God damn this dude.
Like, can he fucking take a hint? Like, can we just leave her alone?
I mean, at least he keeps doing it in sort of, like, public spots.
Right. At least, like, she's not, like, in an empty alley or something. Like, there are at least witnesses. There are other people here. Doesn't feel as, like, dangerous in that way.
Correct.
But, like, this man will not give it up.
Yeah, especially when it's a similar conversation to last time, too, where...
Yeah, it's the same shit. It's like, why are you lying to me? Why are you not telling me the truth? Don't fuck with me. It's like, okay, heard you the last time.
Right.
Buddy.
And he won't tell her why he wants her around.
Yeah.
And he keeps trying to be intimidating, but thankfully, like, there were other people around, so he didn't do anything. I don't know what the fuck his problem is.
Yeah, for real. It's like, just fucking get out.
I don't know, man. I don't fuck him, though.
Yeah, for real.
This scene with Adrian, I don't like it. First of all, I've already... Listen. I know that there are people who like Adrian.
Yes.
And I understand. But I also understand that a lot of you who like Adrian like him. And that I do not understand.
Yeah, sure.
This dream is weird to me. I don't like the idea of someone coming into my dreams and just talking to me.
Right.
Especially him. I do think that it's super wild, though, that, like... So Rose often has her evil eye necklace in her dreams.
Right.
But this time she also has the mood ring.
Right. Yes. And her spirit finding mood ring.
And this was obviously very interesting to Adrian. He's like, what's this?
Right. Ooh, pretty.
Because apparently it, like, gave off a little bit of a glow. And so obviously that, like, started the conversation about the spirit users. And they got into a massive tiff about, like...
Adrian's, how the fuck did you not say anything? This is huge. You know Liz and I have been trying to, like, find other people like us and like you. What the fuck? And she's like, you know what? I have things going on right now, and I don't want you to come after me or follow me because it's dangerous. And fuck you. Like,
yeah.
Trying to protect you guys.
Well, and I think that, like, she's also said, too, that she's not just trying to keep them safe, but, like, this is something that they've communicated how much they're willing to support her.
Right.
So even if she was to say anything, it's not going to change how much they're willing to support her. They just want to... Adrian, in this specific instance, just wants to know because he wants information for himself. Mm-hmm. And so Rose was very much like, well, I'll just tell you once I'm out of here, right?
Right, I'll give you the deets when I'm back, okay?
And so they get into very much of a fight here. And it somehow turns from Rose being stubborn and Adrian being selfish to about Lissa and Avery.
Right.
Which is not great.
Girl. You know, it's just a whole thing. Because she's already freaked out about Avery replacing her as Lissa's best friend. Right. And now she's also not worried, but, like, a little jealous, perhaps, of Adrian and Avery having a thing. Because, like, even in the last chapter where Avery was like, I'll leave the door unlocked, like, come on over, bud, you know. And she's like, do you fucking like her? Like, I don't care, but also you made this whole, like, emotionally manipulative thing of being like, you're the only one I want, like, I'll wait for you, you know, you have to give me a chance when you come back, blah, 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 blah. Like, she doesn't say it like that, but I'm saying, like, that's fucked up. And now he's just, like, being like this. Out of, like, just making her upset and wanting her to feel guilty for, like, doing something for herself. I hate it.
I agree. And the fact that it ends with Rose trying to communicate, like, I mean, she is jealous, right? Like,
yes,
she's
right,
jealous.
for sure. Yes.
But that's not necessarily, like, why she doesn't want Adrian in her dreams.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like, I've been trying to ask you for a long time, dude. Like, get out of my head. And it ends on, like, a really messy end for the two of them. Where he's like, I won't be coming back.
Yeah.
And
this is over.
It's gross.
Yeah, hate it. Oh, Adrian, you fucking sicko.
It's just not, it's not their best for either of them.
Yeah.
But also, like, don't go into people's dreams. How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
How about that? Yeah, I thought by these chapters that Rose would have kind of decided on where she was going. But I was wrong.
Right.
So hopefully by the next pairing we will have that decision. Or maybe it'll be decided for her in chapters 13 and 14.
Yeah.
So we will see. We have some amazing patrons.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Katie Black.
Ooh. Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Ooh. Thank you to Carrie Goldberg.
Thank you to Rebecca Cullen.
Ooh. Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Thank you to Cassandra Bomer.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Thank you to Cassandra O'Shea.
O'Shea. Thank you to Clara Belikov.
Thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you to Hannah Dragomir.
Thank you to Hope Castile.
Ooh. Thank you to Rachel Ashford.
Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you to Samara Rinaldi.
Thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you to Tess Avery.
Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you to my mom, your mom, our mom, Kelly Beck.
Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you to Laura Forty.
Thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh. Thank you to Maria Swan.
Thank you to India Peach.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And last, but certainly not least, thank you to Emily Ozera. I have a fan fiction for you that I found myself. This is from the user Scotty1994, and it's titled Vampire Academy Drabbles Collection.
Oh my gosh.
And this is from specifically the Drabble Vampires Oh My.
Okay.
And it does not have a description for this specific one, but it is between Dimitri and Rose.
Okay.
Rose, Mia cooed, leaning over the counter at me. Mr. Tall and Hot has arrived and is sitting in your section. I rolled my eyes but concealed my groan of annoyance. I'd been hoping that maybe he wasn't going to come in tonight. For the past 2 weeks, every night without fail, he was here, taking a seat in my section, only ever ordering coffee as he sits there with an old-looking book. He had everyone else fooled into being jealous of me because of his good looks, piercing brown eyes, and muscles that I could totally drag my hands down just to feel the strength behind them. But there was something about him that was off. Every time I was near him, I would get a chill. I've been calling it my spidey senses, and they're saying there's something different about this guy, something dangerous. So I was wary, and unlike the other women I worked with, I was not going to stand there and flirt with him. I didn't even bother forcing a fake smile for him anymore. Instead, I just marched to his table with a bored look. What do you want? Mr. Tall and Hot glanced at me, which with his height, we were basically eye level now. He looked down at the menu as if contemplating ordering something different tonight. I'll start with a coffee, he replied, with an easy smile that managed to make my knees feel weak each time. I also didn't like that he affected me so much. You'll have to order food if you're going to stay here, I lied. I just didn't want to put up with him tonight. He smirked, knowing it was a lie. Is that so? I nodded, hoping my manager doesn't overhear. Yep, new policy. End scene.
Cute. Mr. Tall and Hot.
Mr. Tall and Hot.
Yes, so true.
So, if you are interested in what seems like some very angsty little confrontation between the two of them, that would be a good little piece for you to take a look at.
Little rascals.
just some little diner rascals.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
I am so excited to watch the movie that you recommended.
Yes.
I will report back.
Hell yeah.
But folks, let us know what kind of movie, TV situation you would like for later this month. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
And get whipped.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.